Welcome to the class. Today let us see type of water tube boilers. As we know that in water tube boiler the water will flow inside the tubes and over the tubes flue gases will flow. Okay, this we already discussed. Now let us see different types. Those are the main types are Stirling boiler, Babcock and Wilcox boiler and package boiler. Now let us see one by one. Stirling boiler, it is type of a water tube boiler. As you can see here, it consists of number of drums 1, 2, 3, 4. The bottom drum is a water drum. Top 3 drums are steam drums. In this particular model, it has only one water drum. It may have more than 2 depending on steam generation. Here, steam tubes, steam drums and water drum both are connected with a bent water tubes. Here steam drum and water drum connected with a bent water tube. Here the advantage is when steam flows inside the tubes, because of the high temperature it will experience a thermal stresses. But when tubes are bent, thermal stresses can be controlled. Moreover, here you can see the drums are connected with a circulating tube. This is a circulating tube. The function of the circulating tube is it will maintain a same water level inside the drums, and also at the top 3 drums are connected with a equalizing tubes. The use of equalizing tubes is it will maintain a same pressure inside the drums. Here from this drum the water will flow, feed water will enter into the water drum. Here in this space there will be a grate. As we know that the function of the grate is where fuel will burn. After burning the fuel, it will generate a hot gases. Those gases will flow over the tubes. When hot gases flow over the tubes, the water will be converted into steam. As steam has low density, automatically the steam will move upwards into the drum. Here also this boiler will have mountings like safety valve, pressure valves, water level checker, manhole, everything will be there as like other boilers. The disadvantages are, as you can see here, this boiler consists of number of tubes, so it is very difficult to clean, and also it is occupying the more space. So these two are main disadvantages of the Stirling boiler. Now let us see the process parameters. This boiler can give up to 30 bar pressure. Here steam generation is 50,000 kg per hour. It is a very huge steam generation. When we required high amount of steam, we go for Stirling boiler. The efficiency is 60 to 80%. The length of the drum is 5.8 meter. So this is the drum. Opposite to other side of the slide is the length of the drum. Diameter of drum is 2 meter. So these are the specifications. So this is how the Stirling boiler operates. Babcock and Wilcox boiler. It is other important type of water tube boiler. As you can see in this figure, it has a horizontal shell at the top. So this is the horizontal shell, and also it has a straight tubes. These are the water tubes at inclined. Here the angle is 15 degrees from the horizontal. These tubes have water heads both the sides, here on this side and this side, for water flow. As we know that, like other water tube boilers, here also shell has partially filled with water. The bottom half is filled with water, and the remaining half there will be steam. So the water from the shell will enter into the water tubes. Through these tubes it will flow like this inside the water tubes. Here also there will be a grate. Once the fuel burns in the grate, the hot gases flows over the tubes. So hot gases flow like this, so that because of the heat transfer, the water will be converted into the steam. Since steam has low density, so it will move upward to the shell, at the upper part of the shell. Okay, this is how steam is generating in the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. Moreover, here steam can be superheated. So as we know that at the top of the shell, here there will be steam. That steam collected, and that steam will send to the bent tubes. Here there are bent tubes. So these bent tubes are near to the hot gases, so that again hot gases will flow over the bent tubes. The steam will be converted into superheated steam, so that the efficiency will be increased. As like other boilers, it is also having a mountings like safety valve, pressure valve, manhole for maintenance purpose. The advantage is here, as you can see in this figure, here there is a lot of space here over here inside the boiler. So if there is any problem in the water tubes, easily it can be replaceable. And also the total setup is supported on the iron structure. So this is the iron structure. So these are the advantages of the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. So here it can generate steam up to 20 to 40 tons per hour. The pressure can be up to 11 to 17 bar. The other type of water tube boiler is package boiler. Based on the arrangement, they divided into three types: A type arrangement, D type arrangement, and O type arrangement. Let us see first one, A type arrangement. Here, like other boilers, it has a two water drums at the bottom, and there will be steam drum at the top. The drums are connected with a tubes. Here we can see these are the tubes. Here there will be grate where fuel will burn. The hot gases flows over the tubes. So due to the heat transfer, the water will be converted into steam. That steam will flow to the steam drum. As you can see here, it looks like a A shape. So that's why it named it as a A type arrangement. The other type of package boiler is D-type arrangement. Here this is the steam drum, so this is the water drum. Here also there will be a grate inside. The hot gases flows over the tubes. Here both steam drum and water drum connected with the D-shaped tubes. That's why it is named it as a D-type arrangement. When the hot gases flows over the tubes, the water will be converted into steam. That steam will enter into the steam drum. The last type is O-type arrangement. Here there are two drums. So this is the steam drum. This one is the water drum. Both the drums are connected with the O-shaped tubes. Here you can see these are O-shaped tubes. That's why it is named as a O-type arrangement. Here also there will be a grate. Hot gases flows over the tubes. When hot gas flows over the tubes, the water will be converted into steam. The steam will enter into the steam. Okay, so this is about package boiler. Here also mountings will be there, like safety valve, pressure valve, and a manhole. These package boilers are divided based on type of arrangement: A shape, D shape, and O shape. Now let us move on to other topic: boiler accessories and mountings. Boiler mountings are integral part of the boiler. Without mountings, boilers are not allowed to operate because safety-wise it is very important. However, without accessories, boiler can be allowed, but the efficiency will be relatively lower. In India, we have a Act, Indian Boiler Regulation. It was started in 1925. At that time, they observed that many accidents were happened during 19th century. So, to control the accidents, they formed a committee. It named it as Indian Boiler Regulations, IBR. Okay. Here the main rules are: if the steam generation equipment has volume of more than 25 liter, they should take permission from the state government body. Otherwise, they are not allowed to boiler. And also, if the pipeline diameter more than 10 inches, in that case also, they have to take permission from the state government body. Then only they are allowed to operate the boiler. So these are the conditions. Actually, it is a book. This regulation has a very book. It will have so many conditions, but these are the main points. Boiler mountings. Now let us discuss different types of boiler mountings. The first one is pressure gauge. The pressure gauge is used to know the pressure inside the boiler. It is necessary we should know the pressure inside the boiler, because if the pressure exceeds required pressure, the boiler may burst. Generally, pressure gauges are dial type or digital type. As you can see here in this figure, this is a dial type. Pressure gauges are fixed on the top of the shell. Here is the shell. Here they fix the pressure gauge. Nowadays, people have been using digital pressure, and also people have been using transducers, which will give the pressure reading Even we have transducer, there should be either digital type or dial type pressure gauge to the shell. That is the rule. And also when you go to the industry, they may have very old type boilers. So in that boilers, when you look at the pressure gauge, the units will be different. They may have MKS system or SI system. MKS units are kgf per centimeter square, SI units are kilopascal and megapascal, which we use generally. Now let us move to water level indicator. Water level indicator is used to know the level of the water inside the boiler shell. As you can see in this figure, so this is the shell. As we know that shell is partially filled with water and the remaining portion there will be steam. So here, so the bottom of the shell is the water, the remaining portion is steam. Okay. Now this shell connected to the two pipes at the top and bottom, through which steam and water will flow, and these pipes are will connected to the, here you can see there is a glass tube. Okay, when steam passes through the pipes at the top and water from the pipe at the bottom, the both will enter into the glass tube. So in the glass tube you can see the level of the water. So here the level of the water inside the glass tube and in the shell both will be the same. So the operator, by seeing glass tube itself, he can tell the level of the water inside the shell, because both will be in the same level. Moreover, sometimes this glass tube it may break. When glass tube breaks, the steam will come out through the pipe. To avoid this problem, here inside the pipe they fix a balls, some steel balls they fix. The use of steel balls is when glass breaks, it stops the flow of the steam and water. Now let us see other type of mounting, that is safety valve. Safety valve is used to relieve the pressure inside the boiler, and it will also protect the boiler from exploding. Based on the arrangement, safety valves are divided into four types: dead weight valve, lever safety valve, spring loaded safety valve, and high steam and low water safety valve. Now let us see one by one. The first one is dead weight. In the name itself it is a dead weight. Here the lever is connected to the weights. Here you could see in this figure, right side and left side weights are added. The weight of these weights are depending on pressure. If pressure is more, they add more weights. If the pressure is low, they add less weights. Generally, safety valve placed on the top of the shell. For example, this is the shell. On the top of the shell, they place a safety valve. So this is the valve. Here you can see. So this is the valve. When steam inside the shell, the pressure exceeds required pressure, the steam will enter into the safety valve. Here you can see it will enter the safety valve and it will lift the valve, so that these weights also will be lifted and the steam will escape from the valves. Finally, the pressure inside the boiler will be reduced. The other type is lever safety valve. Here also the operation is almost same. Instead of weights, it has a lever. It has a lever, and this lever is connected to the weight. Here at the end of the lever there is a weight. This type of valve also placed on the top of the shell. Here you could see this is the shell. As we know that shell partially filled with water, and the remaining portion there will be steam. Here blue color represents water and this orange color represents steam. When the pressure exceeds required pressure, the steam will enter into the valve and it will lift the lever. So here in this figure the lever is already lifted. So here you can see this way the steam will be escaped, so that the pressure inside the boiler reduced. The other type is spring loaded safety valve. Here in the name itself it is the spring. Here as you can see in this figure, the spring is here, there is a spring, it is connected to the weight. So this is the weight. This type of valve also placed on the top of the shell. So this is the, here you could see clearly, this is the shell. On the top of the shell there is a spring loaded safety valve. When the pressure is more, here the steam will enter into the valve. Here you could see clearly the steam will enter into the valve and it will lift the weight. Here since the weight is connected to the spring, when the weight lifted, the spring will be expanded. After steam went off, again it will come to the original position. Okay, so this is the operation of the spring loaded safety valve. The other type is high steam and low water safety valve. Here this type of valve can be used for high pressure, and also it will tell the level of the water. If the level of the water is low inside the shell, it will give some type of beep sound, and also if the pressure increases inside the shell, it may give some other type of beep sound. Based on the beep sound, the operator know whether it is a high pressure beep or low level water beep. Now let us see the operation. Here you can see, here this is the shell. Here also it is placed on the top of the shell, but the lever is inside the shell. Here you can see clearly, the one side there is a floater. It will float on the, this is the floater, it will float on the water. So this is the weight. Here when water level is low, this floater will come down. When it comes down, automatically the steam will escape, then the water level will be increased. And also if the pressure increases, again the steam will expand. Here the gap will come, again steam will expand through the valve and the pressure will be reduced. So this type can be used for as well as high pressure, and also it will tell the level of the water inside the shell. Now let us see other type of mounting, fusible plug. As you can see in this figure, this is very small size. It is filled with the fusible material. Here you could see clearly. So the white material inside the plug, it is fusible material. It will have a high melting point. Okay. Now generally it is used in the fire tube boiler. As we know that in fire tube boiler, let me draw line diagram. Okay. Now, as we know that in fire tube boilers, flue gases will enter into the tubes and the shell is filled with the partially filled with the water. Okay, this concept we already discussed. Now let us see the use of fusible plug. Generally, the fusible plug they place on the top of the fire tube. So since it is a fire tube, here they will place the fusible plug. Okay, when the temperature is very high inside the fire tube, it may lead to the accident. So it will damage the fire tube. So in that case, since this fusible plug is attached to the fire tube, this heat will transfer to the fusible plug and it will melt this fusible material. Here you can see in this figure, this is the fusible material. It will be melted, so that here it will form a hole. So through that hole, the water will enter into the fire tube, because the shell is already filled with the water. So that water will enter into the fire tube through the fusible plug, so that accident can be prevented. That is the use of the fusible plug. The other type of mounting is steam stop valve. It is used to take steam out of the boiler. As you can see in this figure, so this is the shell. On the top of the shell there is a steam. This we have to take out, so that to take the steam from the boiler, here they fix the steam stop valve. Okay, so it will have a hand wheel. Here you can see hand wheel. When we rotate this hand wheel to take out the steam, this hand will be lifted upward. So when it is lifted upward, the steam will come out from the shell. Suppose if I want to stop the steam valve, again I will rotate the hand wheel. This time the hand wheel will move downwards, so that it stops the flowing of the steam. So the same valve it can be used for to take out the steam from the boiler, as well as to stop the flow of the steam from the shell. The other type of mounting is feed check valve. It is a non-return valve. It is fixed at the supply line of water. Here in this figure you can see, so this is the shell. Okay, we supply feed water into the shell this way. So if you want to supply the feed water into the shell, again here you can see there is a hand wheel. When we rotate the hand wheel, it will be lifted upward, so that the feed water will enter into the shell. Suppose if I want to stop the feed water supply, again I will rotate the hand wheel in other side, so that this hand wheel will move downward. It will stop the supply of the feed water into the shell. So this is the use of the feed check valve. This is the feed check valve. It will be connected to the shell. The other type of mounting is manhole. So as you can see in this figure, this is the manhole. It is a hole in the shell. Through this hole, the operator will enter inside the shell. If there are any repair, he will go inside through the hole, through the manhole, and he will repair and come out of the manhole. This hole is used for maintenance purpose. The other type of the last type of mounting is blow off cock. This is fixed at the top, at the bottom of the shell, not at the top of the shell. It will be fixed at the bottom of the shell. Here as you can see in this figure, so this is the shell. So here this valve is fixed at the bottom of the shell. The use of blow off cork is, when we remove the blow off cork here, it will remove the sediments and impurities present in the water. It will come out through the blow off cork. If I want to stop the flow, here there will be a valve. When we rotate this valve, it will stop the flow of the impurities. Okay. Generally, sediments and impurities will be there in the water, so we have to clean those things. To take out those things, here we use the blow off cork. Now let us move on to other topic, boiler accessories. As we discussed, boilers can be operated without accessories, but when we use accessories, the efficiency of the boiler will be increased. Okay. Now let us see different types of accessories. The first one is superheater. Here you can see in this figure, so this is the superheater. Now here this you can see, this is the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. In this boiler, so this is the superheater, this portion is the superheater. The use of the superheater is, here what we do, when water is converted into the steam inside the boiler, so here this is the drum. Here at the top of the drum there will be steam. That steam will be collected and it will send to the superheater. Okay. Generally this superheater will be placed near the grate, so that those hot gases will flow through the, like this way the hot gases will flow over the superheater, so that the steam will be superheated. Okay, this is the advantage of the superheater. When the steam is superheated, the efficiency will be increased. Here we can see in TS diagram, this we already discussed. So generally A to 1, the water will be converted into steam, because this is the saturated liquid line, this line is the saturated vapor line. So the water will be converted into steam at point 1, but in case of superheated steam, so the point 1 will be shifted to 1 dash. Okay. Now you can see here at 1 to 2 dash, it is a isentropic expansion in the boiler. So this 2 dash, it will have a more dryness fraction, so that the efficiency will be increased, and also the average temperature inside the boiler increases, so that the efficiency of the cycle will be increased. This is the advantage of the superheater. Superheater is, it is like a type of heat exchanger. Okay. When hot gases flows over the, here you can see, when hot gases flows over the tubes, the steam inside the tubes will be superheated. Okay. This is the operation of the superheater. Now let us see other type of accessory, economizer. The use of economizer is, it will preheat the water before entering into the boiler, which means, here you can see in TS diagram, here process 3 to 4 is the isentropic compression process. Okay. After compressed, this compressed water will enter into the boiler at point 4. Okay. Here, before entering into the boiler at point 4, the water will be preheated, so that less heat is required to convert the water into steam, so the efficiency of the cycle will be increased. Here you can see the economizer looks like this. So through here it has a number of tubes through which the water will flow. Okay, this setup they keep near the grate so that the hot gases will flow over the tubes, over the economizer, so that the water inside the tube will be preheated. So that preheated water will enter into the boiler, then that water will be converted into the steam. So this is the use of the economizer. Okay, here also it is like a heat exchanger. The efficiency will be increased. The next one is air preheater. Okay, in the name itself it is there. Here air will be preheated. As we know that we required a air to burn the fuel. Okay, before sending the air to the fuel, the air will be preheated so that the heat energy required for combustion will be reduced. Consequently, the efficiency will be increased. So here, so this is the air preheater equipment. Here also it will be having a number of tubes through which air will flow, and also over the tubes the hot gases will flow. Okay, when hot gases flow over the tubes, the temperature of the air will be increased and it will be preheated. That preheated air will send to the fuel, then combustion will be takes place. This is the use of the air preheater. The last type of accessory is steam trap. Here it is used to remove the water in the steam water mixture. So here you can see in this setup, when the steam flows inside the tubes, so here steam is flowing inside the tube. Generally these tubes are insulated, but no insulation is the perfect insulation. There will be losses. So this steam will be condensed. Here you can see at the bottom there is a blue color, so that here some part of the steam is getting condensed because of losses to the surrounding. So when this steam part increases, it will stop the flow of the steam inside the pipe. Okay, to prevent that, here there is a ball, some ball will be there. It will control the condensate and it will push downward so that the steam will flow smoothly inside the tubes. This is the use of the steam trap.